One.
Kilpailussa mukana Ramirent. Kotikatsomon eväät tarjoaa Kotipizza.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the final 9 holes here in round 3, the third stop of the Prodigy Disc Pro Tour in Turku, Finland. This coverage is brought to you by Natural Born Disc Golfer. Thank you guys for sharing your coverage with us here at Gatekeeper Media. And this commentary is brought to you by Parked Podcast. My name is Mitch Phillips. Joining me is Hayden Riccard. We have made it the final 9 holes.
It's going to be exciting between the top 3. Even Ville he's going to be able to charge. I think he puts on the burners and says, hey, I need to push.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, only one birdie on the front 9 and one bogey for him. But the rest of our card, Väinö going
5 under.
Yeah, bogey free. If you can go bogey free on the back 9 here, we've seen it. We've seen players go 6-7 down on the back 9. But a lot of movement here. Familiar faces jumping in. Liro Pironen, Niklas Anttila really making moves as well, trying to get onto that podium. And when you're in a groove and you're not on the lead card, it's that much more momentum. It's much more charge.
Dire for you to go and charge at. And moving on to hole 10, par 3, 279 feet. This is one that's one of the shortest holes here on the course, but a tough one to get off the tee and not hit trees.
Yeah, we've seen just kind of overstable flex play. We've seen forehand up the middle. Just not enough angle out of the hand.
I like that play so much, though.
Yeah, it's a rare shaping shot to have a force over, and only at 279 feet. Usually when you're throwing that shot, it's like a max distance, overstable.
It's a huge drive. Väinö going a little too high on his forehand there.
It's a forward kick, though. But yeah, that's more of an understable fairway driver.
Yeah,
coming
I believe
through
so. And we've seen Luukas put this one close before.
Yeah, he's gone with the backhand in the previous 2 rounds, but going to the forehand here, more of a skip shot, making it all the way through to circle's edge. Yep.
Being able to make it there is a feat itself.
Mm-hmm. Ville lining up the overstable line. And being on that side of the tee pad, he kind of was able to throw more of a straight shot.
I think so as well.
Using the left to right motion of the tee pad to open up, maybe close a certain gap based on what he wanted to throw.
I think it opens up his hips a little bit more for that angle of a shot.
Yeah, you're not fighting it with your shoulders either to kind of try to work a shot out of it and adjusting your form. You're adjusting where you're at on the tee pad.
Ville hitting another tree.
And that's going to be, hopefully it kicked a little bit left or right to be able to, not have to force a straddle. But he does have a great straddle putt. It's usually his go-to from that distance, but little frisbee shot, wrist snap there for Seppo.
Circle 1.
Yep.
And Väinö, if he's confident, he's going to run it.
Just high right.
And I think that's his range. It's just outside. He hasn't really played with it much yet.
Yeah, that's a long putt. That's a 50-footer going uphill, a little bit of wind.
Ooh,
yeah, and you can see.
Knew it right out of the hand.
Yeah, just a little bit too much hyzer, a little bit left. With his style putt, when you're at that range, you really can't aim at the pole.
No.
It's got to be a little bit right and trusting that disc to fade. Catching one single chain in the nubs on the right. Ville just a touch off.
Good comeback par for Seppo. You have Luukas for his par.
You see that wind pick up. That thing dip down fast.
Yeah, you could see the hesitation in his body movement. He was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it was definitely a surprising motion of a disc. Kind of take that note, put it in your head, and continue on to the next putt.
And a bogey there for Ville.
Yeah, just catching twice. That last guardian tree getting the best of him. Moving into hole 11, par 4, 689 feet. Out of bounds the entire left side of this fairway. You're going to want to make it just left of this mouth and be able to push through into this green that has out of bounds surrounding left and long as well. This one we see a couple different plays. We've seen the roller, we've seen an over the top play, but if you go over the top with this wind, it can carry, it can find the out of bounds. Seppo doesn't want to mess with it, and even going for the roller here, it takes a weird push to the right before it's able to hit the ground, and he hits early.
I mean, you expose that plate of that disc and it's going to push, especially with a left to right wind.
Yeah. Väinö looking to line up a similar line. Wide
Made the adjustment.
sky roller, putting it more on the left side of it, and then he's to stand up. Oh no, and it never has a chance to stand up. Yeah, even if the gallery wasn't there, that's not coming back in. Just a touch too much angle as it hits the ground.
Here's the typical play you do see.
Yeah,
It's
if this
over the
gets
top of
down,
the trees
it's perfect.
and Heiser back towards the gap.
It catches late.
May have a look, may not. Don't know what's over there. May have a lane to get past the gap.
Yeah.
And Ville going more of the straight.
Yeah. Putting the touch on display, just a Heiser flip. Wow.
Sit.
Oh,
just a little bit too much.
That was a perfect shot. Just catching the soft, I was expecting that to just settle, but
yeah, it's
surprising to see
up.
the skip. It did land more of a flat shot. Seppo having to just full scramble mode here.
What the heck?
Unsure where that ended up.
He had to go over the top.
That wasn't even an overhand shot. That was like a sky forehand Anheuser.
Yeah.
That was wild, trying to gain that distance.
Just trying to push it. That may have been all he had.
Yeah. Great upshot from Väinö. They'll have that for par. Similar distance here for Ville. And tries to make the correction a little bit more angle.
I think he was throwing more of a deeper disc.
Yeah.
And didn't get the skip.
Yeah, I needed it to be a little bit more height to be able to use the depth of that disc in the glide. And Luukas made it very far down here.
He did, and this looks
almost
really good.
Giving it a run.
A little bit of roll towards the basket.
Have that for birdie.
What a scramble.
Looking to pick up a stroke on the second place.
See where Seppo went, and he has to go to another big Anheuser.
Yeah, this is his third shot.
The trees.
Sky Anheuser.
That's not getting... Oh, I stand corrected.
Going long. Doesn't find the out of bounds, but it's going to be an obstructed putt, I'm sure. Seppo having to pull out all the tricks. He throws Sky Anheuser through the backhand. Ooh. Just a little bit too much float.
Yeah, just too much float. Not enough force straight at the basket, which is not his kind of style. And then Seppo having to go to a knee.
If Seppo's not warmed up on the scramble after this hole, I mean, this is going to be a large number here. I mean, no out of bounds strokes, thankfully. But, I mean, just...
I feel like you just want to get that one over with.
Yeah.
After going scramble, scramble, scramble.
We finally get to Väinö's approach. This is for par.
Good par putt.
Yeah, he knows those baskets really well.
Always hitting them with some force. And Luukas for the birdie.
Picking up strokes on the entire card.
That was needed to push back closer to the leaders. And Seppo is going to lose, I think, 2 strokes here.
Mm-hmm.
And Ville taking the double bogey as well.
The double and then continuing with the struggle on the putting green. Just a solo bogey there for Seppo, but going to be losing 2 strokes to Luukas and 1 stroke to Väinö.
Yep. As we go into hole 12, par 3, 400 feet. Really just going to try to get as far as you can down towards this basket, push it as close as you can, being a par 3. The wind is going to come into play on this one with the big hyzer shot because of the OB. on the left side.
Yeah, we've seen players throw a little bit more of an
We got a
understable disc,
mid-range.
mid-range, maybe even a putter using that glide of the disc. But like you said, that wind already coming to play, pushing up and right. Gets a kick out, though, so he'll have ability to run it. But, yeah, I expected Väinö to go to this
It's
below
a putter.
PA3. Yeah, he has so much touch and control with
The
this
confidence
disc.
in this. And if you have the power to go that far, I mean, why not?
Gets the forward skip. Going to be in a little bit of roll, maybe be a little bit obstructed with that shrub. But
Circle 2, mid-circle 2.
yeah, which is, you're throwing a putter. I mean, as we see Seppo reach for a similar shaped disc.
Well, you got to rip on it, but the wear
Late
is
flip and
this
glide here.
looks really good.
Wow.
That's how you
Seppo
throw it.
Paju.
And we go to the Koti Pizza rewind. Oh, yeah.
Good look at his form there.
What I
Understable
was saying
putter.
when he was throwing this, it's like you need a little bit more power, and you're going to have the control because it is a putter. But if you control the power, you can put it down there, especially being downhill and blind.
Yeah, being able to control the wind.
You don't want it to go like Väinö's. Basically, Väinö didn't put enough, I think, in my mind, power rip out of it. Just left it a little bit
Yeah,
too much
Seppo
hyzer.
correcting perfectly.
Oh, it was a straight shot. And Ville,
Pulling a little bit right. But this is more of an overstable disc.
Maybe-
You're trying to crash in.
that's what I was going to say, is crashed right next to the basket. And a roll.
Closer
Another
than
one.
Mr. Paju. Yes.
Fantastic.
Luukas with this left.
He's not messing with it. I
Yeah.
don't either.
Yeah, I mean, you're one off the lead. With 6 to go. I mean, yeah.
Great putt from Väinö. That's his first one at circle 2, mid-circle 2. And
There's
he's
no
feeling
left
it.
to right movement.
Nope.
That is a true,
Dead center.
perfect spin putt display there. And we'll have a birdie here from Seppo
Seppo.
as well, but
Yep.
I'm just in awe of that just direct,
Ville really needed this birdie.
confident putt from Mäkelä. But yes, Ville after a tough
Bogey and
goals,
then a double bogey.
his buddy's rooting him on.
Yeah. It feels good after that.
Yeah, and the sole par there, losing a stroke to the card. As we move into hole 13, par 4, 535 feet. A very technical par 4, only being 500 feet. But off the drive, you're going to want to throw an overstable fairway driver, maybe a mid-range, try to get as close as you can to this opening as we enter into this beautiful field. OB left and long surrounding the basket, but doesn't really come into play too much because depending on how far your drive is, you're usually throwing a pretty slow disc into that basket.
Yeah, you're just trying to get as far as you can without hitting some trees and getting caught up early and having a decent look at the next gap.
Controlling the height is so important here as well. And that's totally fine.
It kicked, and it should be in a decent area.
Yeah, being able to see the basket is the
Yes.
goal here. If you can have your eyes on the basket and have a pretty clean stroke, you're in a good spot off the tee. Seppo disking down to this overstable mid-range, maybe approach disc he's been ripping on. Oh, and that's
Looks great. Yeah, I believe that's the same disc he throws on hole 1
Mm-hmm.
to get to the initial gap.
Yeah, I believe maybe an A2, A3. Maybe a bit high. Yeah, catching. That redirect,
Still
though, was
not-
actually... Oh,
And a redirect roll.
to the center of the fairway.
Not
Going to be a
bad.
longer approach.
You see Luukas going with the approach disc.
Mm-hmm. High out of the hand, and it just gets lifted as well. Chance for it to fight through, though.
Fought through. Maybe he'll have to step out and try to go with a forehand, maybe?
Yeah, after throwing a similar disc to Seppo, just wanting to have more of a direct, line lower to the ground. Not what he was expecting, but you can see the difficulty if you don't get very far down this fairway. Gotta be
Just
low,
puts it
yeah.
low.
It's
It
hard
almost
to
looked
find
like
the
it
height.
was gonna hit that log right there.
Yeah, it's hard to find the height on the way out. It's low ceiling until you exit these woods.
Yeah, he's going with forehand. Luukas.
Yeah, A3 here. Nice controlled, overstable approach disc.
With a little bit of Annie to get it out. Have the
Maybe,
distance.
maybe needing to disc
Edge
up.
a circle one.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't disc up there knowing the wind
To a
is a
fairway.
factor, and he's so deadly with that FX2, but maybe too fast of a disc, doesn't want to bring the out of bounds into play, but going to be on that circle's edge.
And Väinö making that decision.
Yeah.
Not Väinö, Seppo. Making that decision to go to a faster rim disc.
Yeah, and that's the right decision. You're uphill, going a little bit of wind, let it just kind of just fight through a little bit more, but
Väinö going to the trusty PA3.
yeah, and he's far enough up where he can just kind of throw a straight to Anheuser shot. And throw it in. Just
That
short,
looks
but
perfect.
Yep. That's textbook here on this hole. I mean, you really can't craft it any better to not have to have a weird step out or, Anheuser forehand, but to be able to throw a straight putter backhand is so.
That was so floaty.
If you can dial in where you're going to aim in the
It
the
can be
air
deadly.
and let it fall perfectly, it's definitely there. But when the wind comes into play, that putt. Oh, and speaking of it,
Luukas sailed it over.
thankfully he doesn't go out of bounds, but he'll have a similar distance coming back.
Here's Luukas for his par. Good par. And Ville. Another par.
Yeah, and Ville definitely running out of holes here to find himself back on the podium as he's sitting in 8th place right now.
Good birdie from Seppo. We'll see another birdie from Väinö.
Good, confident putt. Still bogey free.
So impressive.
Yeah, I mean, being able to battle that wind.
As we move into hole 14, par 3, 259 feet. This is another short one that you'll see the players try to either go with the forehand flex through the gap or over the top with a grenade. We've seen 2 of those, but the issue with the grenade is it's a hard compact hole and you're going to see that bounce off that ground.
Yeah, and Hayden referring to the ground in a way I never would is this soil. But that is why throw the grenade when you can throw a perfect forehand up the gap.
Yeah. We've seen multiple of them.
Yep,
and
Seppo
we've
going
seen them work
standstill.
out both ways.
Right. Standstill with a quite overstable approach. He's been leaning on this disc so much.
Great
and
skip.
He matches and hits
And
it.
tap in.
Let's go to the Coti Pizza slow-mo. Flex forehand, this overstable approach disc he's leaned on all round, just making it past that final tree, controlling the speed, and hitting the sponsor square here and settling. You can't draw it up any better there for
That's
Seppo Paju.
perfect.
And Ville with some pressure now, realizing everyone's playing this hole to perfection.
Yeah, definitely is going to settle in, but he's a good forehand player.
Yeah. I'm just a bit too straight.
And I think that's with him today on this back nine and even the front nine. It's a little bit of nerves or a little bit off on his game because we know he can perform. That's why he's here.
Luukas lining up the grenade. Like we said, this shot is here and it's definitely shaped well for it, but it's got to sit.
I don't think that made it over the top of the
Yeah,
trees.
it's caught. I think it moved. Yeah, you can see them
it
talking about it
moved.
moved left a
Yeah.
little bit more, so maybe
And
going to be...
and that's the issue with the wind, too.
Yeah, that grenade, you're really showing the sides of the disc there and letting the left-right movement happen.
And Luukas not messing with it, just putting it close.
Yeah, just short there for him. It's tough to get that grenade to really move the distance it needs to and not move left to right in this kind of conditions.
Definitely. Oh, solid
Consistent.
putt.
At this point, he's missed one putt inside 35 feet, I believe. Absurd.
That's a great performance.
So he continues, pushes his
Seppo with the
lead.
tap in.
Yeah, it's still only 2 strokes, 4 to play. Moving into hole 15, par 3, 328 feet, out of bounds the entire left side. Everything left of those stakes and beyond out of bounds. But the goal here is going to be a backhand turnover, maybe a forehand. Really depends on the wind, what shot these players are going to go for. But don't turn it too much because it is so guarded with that huge green shrub. Just wanting to just eat and just grab those discs and just make an approach very difficult. Pretty direct line, going to be low. Being eye level with the basket.
He's eye level. He's up top on the hill.
Seppo looking higher, maybe.
I think this is his roller disc.
Yeah, and that's going to filter behind. Maybe in between that roller and, but doing more of a straight shot instead of the higher Anheuser. This can stay up in the air. Ooh, that's going to slide into that
It's going
shrub.
to be on the edge, possibly.
Luukas has put this close in previous rounds. Similar disc going to this H3 V2. This height looks so good. It can flex back. Oh my goodness. Yeah, take a bow after that one. That's perfect for Rokkanen here on 15. In position to try to catch Seppo here with a couple holes left.
Yeah, you fully expect Väinö not to mess with it. With
Yeah.
the lead, he's 2 strokes.
Right, and seeing where the rest of the competitors are that are chasing him.
No need to rush it and try to force some error on your part.
Yep. Yeah, knowing he's not losing a stroke. Yeah, 2 strokes with 3 to play is a comfortable spot. And Ville having to get crafty here. Big step out.
What a putt.
Ville Ahokas.
If that doesn't give you any confidence, I don't know what will.
Wow.
Going to the Coty Pizza slow-mo.
Big step out to the left.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Catching some lettuce on the way out, and wow.
That was great.
Such a confident putt from such a low
You
stance.
see his smile too.
And we've talked about it before, finding the confidence in a stroke that you can manipulate in different stances, and that is a perfect display of it. What a putt there for birdie.
And Luukas here for his birdie as well. Good birdie.
To be on that top and not have to do anything
No pressure.
funky, not have to bring that out of bounds.
Yeah.
That is perfection here on 15.
As we get to hole 16, par 3, 266 feet. This is just a putter or mid-range shot straight at the basket and trying to put it close. You got 1 guardian tree on the right side. But that's about it. It's pretty textbook, but you do have the wind now coming into play. So you're going to throw about the same disc, but you're going to watch the plate and the line you're going to throw it on.
Yeah, maybe not as much fade as you're used to having.
A little short from Ville.
Yeah, this is one of those holes that the design is so simple. It's right there, under 300 feet, but when the wind picks up, your disc changes, your line changes, your height changes.
Look at that air bounce.
And that never... I think he expected it to flip up. Stays in bounds.
It's going to be a tough comeback.
Yeah.
I think he's going to lay up for it.
Yeah, with that wind, it's tough. He's chasing Seppo, though. You got to
Yes.
think he wants everything he can, just picking up another stroke on the previous hole. And Väinö's ready to take this one home.
So this is mine.
Pretty much. I mean, really putting the pressure on Seppo.
It has been for a while, but still got some holes left.
So far.
Still got some holes left.
Seppo going to this disc. He throws backhand, forehand in. Good height, but he's going to be short left.
You think he runs it?
He has to.
He's 2 back from Väinö.
3
and
holes
he's
to
got
play.
Luukas behind him.
He's in a spot where he kind of has to decide. I think Luukas, he knows he's probably going to lay up.
Yeah,
So-
from that distance, I think he does because he doesn't want to put any more damage to get further behind.
Right.
But
being able to distance himself from that third place chasing is also a good thing, unless,
yes.
the wind
There's
is
no
too
way.
much.
Yeah. And Ville is just opening the bag and going
Yeah.
for it. There's no sense not to.
And that carries outside the circle. Going to be a tough comebacker. You hear that wind ripping. Seppo from a similar distance, circle's edge.
Just low.
Yeah, never had a chance. Kind of in between of, as you're throwing it, a realization of like this could go bad.
It could. Yeah, it could have. I mean, and Ville going under the basket further, it's going to have another similar
circle's edge, and now
maybe
this one
further uphill.
Yep.
Just hurting himself there.
Yeah, in a hole that's such a short distance, but this is what happens. You know, the touch of a raised basket, the wind comes into play, and man, that's going to be a big number here for Ahokas. Oh! And finally, that hard, confident putt bites him. I mean, those chains did not even move.
It just hit pole. It just hit
He was excited.
You could hear it too. I mean,
Yeah.
you could hear the sound. It hit pole and just goes right back out, right towards him.
Double bogey for Ahokas. Parse the rest of the group here.
Holy smokes.
It's so surprising to I mean, it was definitely too much torque
For that
close a
distance,
putt.
yes. But
Yeah, but
Still.
I respect him for,
Yeah.
committing to it nonetheless. Moving into hole 17, a hole that you have to commit. Par 4, 600 feet. Seen a lot of forehands to be able to shape that gap to put yourself on the right side of the fairway to attack this very sloped, dangerous green. You have some wood chips, some rocks there. It gets fast. We see players, if you're outside the circle, maybe even lay up. But being that this is the final round with 2 holes to play, you're pushing and you're not really going to be laying up putts anymore.
no. And a lot of the players are going to do that flex forehand.
This might be a little high, catching left.
early on a branch. I don't know where that's going to set him up.
He'll be short right.
I think he's going to be a blind shot too. And this one able to find the fairway.
Yeah, missing the last gap, but hooking around it in a great position to attack. That same glow PA3 he leans on so much.
He loves that thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it really helps out his play, his
Yeah.
gameplay.
Seppo going to this old M3.
Mid-range. Ooh, bad kick.
If he's a
rock.
foot further, he's straight skipping for days, but that's going to be an interesting spot.
And Ville opting for the forehand.
Standstill.
I like seeing him do standstills on all these, like most of these tees. He's been doing a standstill.
Yeah, he knows he can hit the gap more confidently when he doesn't bring the feet into it, but that's going to be high.
I think he goes over the top on the next shot.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of players do that if you're out of position or if you're just planning on it from the top. Setting yourself up for that big, wide
I
shot.
see Luukas doing it.
Yeah.
Making sure his footing is good enough.
And these players make the shot look so simple.
Oh,
But
no doubt.
You're about 350, 370 feet here. Throwing a spike hyzer over the top.
For average
running
players,
uphill.
this is a really tough shot.
These are not average players. They're
I know.
freaking
I'm just saying.
smashing. Yeah.
This is a huge shot over the top.
Just question mark.
Don't know where it's at. Maybe good, maybe bad.
Yeah, it's at that Plinko game, trying to get it to go in. We expect Seppo to do the same.
The tough thing is he's got this low ceiling early in his run-up.
Yeah. Ripping an overstable fairway. And is short of it, but curls in.
He's going to have a look if it's not protected.
Yeah,
on that
depending on
side.
where Luukas ends up, I think that changes if he needs to try to run that or not. Everyone going over the top here. And I like that play. It needed to be maybe catch a forward skip. As we see Väinö go to the forehand. High enough on there where he can go through the middle.
Probably.
Yep. All you got to do is par out from here, and that's putting yourself in a position to do it.
Luukas having to go to patent pending. He's got to watch his rotation.
Touchy shot here to approach.
It's almost
the
at the
green.
top end of his release is that he has to let go of it.
So stretched out too. That balance is tough. Having to fall forwards.
Those are some fun ones when you have to fall forwards.
The fun ones if they go well.
I'm just saying.
If you like getting dirty, rolling around. I mean,
Most of the time you get hurt
that's true.
because you're rolling around on rocks and sticks.
Yeah, a touch too overstable though on that fall.
Leaving it a little short, but
Yeah, he'll be fine.
that should be fine from there. And Väinö, this is his look, just laying it up.
Yeah, there's no need
No,
at
you
all
don't.
to run that.
You got one hole left. No need.
Yeah, hole.
Put yourself in the danger on this screen.
Yeah.
Seppo doing the same.
Yeah, comfortable 2 strokes going into hole 18, but being that it's an island.
It could get in trouble. And Ville almost putting it away.
Just left for Ville. It's unfortunate bogey, but not the round he was looking for.
No, there's
Just-
a couple in there that he probably wants to take back and push
Yeah.
a little closer to gaining Seppo.
Some pars where the putt was just a touch off. Similar round to Ville here. Score-wise different, but just the overall vibe of the round, just a little bit off on the putting green.
Agreed. Let's go into the last hole. Hole 18, par 3, 230 feet straight downhill with an island green. You can see the forehand, you can see the backhand, and either or works. Just got to adjust for the wind and play it soft.
Yeah, a lot of players going to go to a standstill here, try to limit any kind of movement and variation.
Needs to go and sit.
Oh, and gets the curl,
There you go.
and he knows it. Unless Seppo aces this.
Which
Even
can
then,
be done.
Even then, though, he still loses.
Still behind.
Yeah, he's still down by 2. Or down by 1, even if he aces, but just ace it. Why not?
I mean, he's not going to ace it, but that's putting it real close.
Yeah, 230 feet straight downhill. The standstill is really the best choice.
Yeah, you're not running up this one.
Perfect there for Ville. Luukas tied for 3rd at the moment. Needs to put this close.
Okay. Textbook shots from our card here.
Looking like we're going to have a star frame to finish out the tournament. Some great shots of the gallery and the players coming down. This hill.
Gallery got huge at the end there.
Yeah. And Väinö just laying it up. A little bit of a laugh there. They're laughing it off, knowing that he's got a stroke to play with.
Yeah. And Luukas taking his time here.
Yeah, knowing this stroke means something.
Good putt.
Yep, sticks it. Great tournament for Luukas Rokkanen. Pleasure to be able to watch him all 3 rounds.
He's such a good player. I can't wait to see him play in the next ones.
Yeah, and I believe that does get him for solo 3rd place as well.
I think so.
Hugging it out, good friends there. Väinö Mäkelä, your champion here, the 3rd stop. What a comeback for Väinö. We saw Seppo struggle in the back 9 of round 2, really giving up a big lead. But your champion,
Väinö
Mäkelä, taking 2 out of the 3 so far here on the Prodigy Disc Pro Tour.
And these are the first tournaments that they're playing in the year.
Really?
These were the first couple ones that they were playing.
I mean, the battles over here in Europe just becoming so much more enjoyable to watch as we get to know these players, and so thankful for this opportunity to be able to watch European disc golf
It's been so much fun.
These beautiful places.
Oh, the transitions between these 3 courses that we've watched so far, it's been astonishing.
Yeah.
I mean, we had 2 difficult courses at the beginning, like super, super difficult. And then you got an open shot here at Turku, and I can't wait for the next one.
Yep, and Luukas Rokkanen getting that solo 3rd place.
Beating out Joona.
Yeah, Joona getting 4th, Leo 5th, and man, it just, the movement of moving day on round 2 really set the tone coming into this. The strokes were so close, and I mean, my goodness, let's go to an interview with Väinö.
Otetaan klassinen alkuun. Miltä nyt tuntuu? Kyllä tämä tuntuu hyvältä sitten, että saatiin tavallaan ekojen kierroksen tavallaan niin sanotut vaikeudet sitten vielä selätetty vikalla kierroksella. Saatiin puttipeli kondikseen sille levelille mitä halusikin, ja sillä se tänään se voitto ratkaisi, koska tämän päivän puskittaiset tuulet oli aika melkoisia, niin joutui putella kovaa ja hyvin, niin sillä tänään ratkaisi. Tänään lähit vielä 1 heiton tappioasemasta kierrokselle. Mikä on sun salaisuus siihen, että viimeisellä kierroksella aina peli kulkee? Hyvä kysymys. Ehkä se on se, että semmonen niin kuin jahti vietti niin sanotusti, että sit kun aina pääsee takaa jo asemasta, niin mä oon parhaimmillaan silloin, että mä niin toimin kaikista parhaiten silloin, kun on tavallaan niin altavastaajan asemassa. Kerrotko vielä, että mitkä oli ne aseet, millä tänään voitto irtos? Kyllä se oli putti ja sitten tarkat drivit tänään. Putti ja drivit oli kyllä aika hyvää tekemistä. Kiitos paljon ja edelleen onnittelut. Kiitoksia.
Väinö Mäkelä just wrapping up the tournament. I mean, what a battle to be able to come off of round 2 to take it home. And we're going to see some highlights here from your champion. The putter was on fire.
That's what won it, for sure.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
I mean, the commitment had no issue there. He was committing to every putt.
Yeah, and it's different when we've been able to watch, Väinö here in the lead card of, a couple rounds so far. I mean, today's putt was different. It was direct.
Yes.
There was no left to right movement, and there was so much control and too much direct on one of the putts there to kick back from him, at 5 feet.
On a short hole.
Yeah, but
or a short putt.
Overall, I mean, here's a look at it here. Coming to that left hip, good commitment, great spin, never breaking the pole with his right hand. I mean,
that's what you want to see. That's how you want to putt.
It's a putting clinic. If you're trying to learn how to spin putt, watch this man right here, Väinö Mäkelä. Let's talk about Seppo. He definitely had the lead there. At one point, had a 5, almost 6, 7 stroke lead in round 2. Struggled. What do you think his nerves, mental going into round 3 was?
I think it was just trying to push and catch up and being able to play a little bit cleaner than he had and get those birdies where he needed to. And he did that, definitely, for sure. He played a lot better than he did round 2. But at the same time, there's just some of those errant shots and putts that he needed to hit.
Yeah.
So I think in the next...
Made that round 3, you didn't have any room for error.
Yeah, had no room for error, pretty much. He had to push as hard as he could to catch and possibly beat out Väinö.
Yeah, and let's talk about Luukas Rokkanen. I mean, being able to watch him all 3 rounds. We haven't been able to see him yet on coverage
No,
at
this is the first
the
time,
Pro Tour.
and I want to see him on the next one because he can do it.
Yeah, I mean, he has every skill. I mean, the touch, the power. When that putter gets going, he has that nice hyzer release putter that's just very direct. But what a joy to be able to watch him absolutely styling on the course. I mean, just really enjoyable player to watch.
Yeah, that was so much fun. And bringing out the grenade, that was fantastic.
Yeah,
too.
it was great. Well, thank you for joining us. The 3rd stop here in Turku at the Prodigy Disc Pro Tour. My name is Mitch Phillips.
And I'm Hayden Riccard.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Parked Podcast, and we'll see you for the 4th stop really soon. Peace.